And Abraham is going to be late. He will join us. But this is on voice-assisted devices. And we have two. Gabrielle is from the library here, brought her Google, and I've got my, we'll call her Mary, because if I say her name, she'll go off. So we got a little presentation here, and at the very end, and you can ask questions as you go, whatever, it's fine. But at the end, we'll then demonstrate these two and how they might be a little bit different. And we'll look at them in specifics. But anyway, so what is a voice-assisted device? Well, basically, it's a digital device that lets you use voice recognition, speak it, synthesize it in speech, use natural language to provide you a service through a particular application. Now, there are many different types of voice-assisted devices. Your phone is one, actually. Your iPad is one. These are standalone programs that you can activate. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. These particular ones. This is a Google Home, right? This little guy here, and this one is Amazon Alexa or Amazon Echo. Alexa, stop. These two devices, how can they improve your life? Well, first they can help you multitask easily, like you're cooking breakfast, and you want to know what your schedule is for the day. Or you might want to call your daughter because you had forgot that there was something she's supposed to do when she meets you later. And you can do that all at the same time just by talking to your voice-assisted device and continuing on doing your other tasks. So you can multitask. It's faster than the phone. I don't know how it is in your home, but in my home, it's like, where's the phone? No longer is it on the wall, on a desk. It's somewhere. And then where's Pat's phone? My phone looked like my phone. My phone looked, where is it? I get around and find it. Or computer's not on. I have a question. I have something I want to know. My computer isn't on. Well, with the voice-assisted device, it's faster than getting the computer or the laptop or the phone going. I can just ask. Then you're not dependent on the computer either. Like Judith, who was here earlier, is having vision problems. So she can't spend very long at the computer. And this kind of device could be very helpful for her, so she doesn't have to be dependent upon her fading vision. You can get fast answers to questions. You're sitting there at the table and someone is saying, who was Grover Cleveland? And then you can simply ask who he was. Oh, that's who that was. Or that movie. What was that movie that so-and-so was in? You ever do that with your husbands? Mm-hmm. And you're both going back. Remember that movie where she did that thing that was that, and I don't remember the name of the movie, but that was that thing about the, and about the, and you still can't find who that actor was? Well, you could ask what it is. So you get fast information. Daily functions are made a lot easier, like phone calls. You can actually phone through this as well. Getting your schedule, setting a timer, 1 minute egg. We'll set a timer later and when your egg's ready. You can get information quickly and easily. You don't have to pop everything up that you normally use. You can just simply ask, sitting at the table. You can also get on-demand news and music and favorite radio programs, like if you like Wait, Don't Tell Me, or you like NPR programs. You can, on demand, you can be working at the kitchen or cleaning the house and simply ask to learn what's the latest news or have music playing. It helps you to automate and organize your life to give you more free time. We all want more free time, even though we have more than we did before. If I can get rid of certain drudgeries, it can help you organize. And so you can, for one thing, you can have a list. You can ask for a to-do list. You can set up a to-do list. And then before you leave, you can ask, what's on my to-do list to pick up today at the grocery store? It helps you to de-stress. Sometimes when I'm very stressed, I'll ask Alexa to play cool jazz. And some cool soft music will come. Or there's a program where I can actually ask for rainfall. Play some rain, and she'll play rain. So I can de-stress with this device helping me. It keeps me connected to others, so very easy to use my phone contact list. That when I need to call Judy, I can simply say, Mary, call Judy, and she'll say, you mean Judy Macias at blah, blah, blah? And say, yes, bang, then I'll talk to this, and she'll come out of there, and I don't have to find the phone or go to the phone, and it keeps me connected. It's a great assistance for those who are physically challenged. One of our members, Sue, had a knee replacement, and she used her Alexa all the time when she was down, because the phone's somewhere else, or she wants a light turned on, or these things she can do because she's temporarily physically challenged. But others are even more physically challenged. We have one member at the village who is double amputee. So for her, she can do all kinds of things all over the house without having to get out of the chair and go and get the get the wheelchair and the this and that and whatever. So it's a great assistance to those who are physically challenged. It's becoming more so for those who are visually challenged. Okay. Hi, come on in. I think you're Abraham, right?
I am Abraham.
Abraham, good to meet you. I'm Terry.
As well.
So you can kind of jump in wherever you would like. Do you want to use some of her slides, or do you want to just chip in and have me just keep doing it?
I can keep going.
What would you prefer?
I think you can keep going. That'll be fine.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
just chip in.
I'll jump in
all the way through. Yeah,
Sounds good.
Do you mind saying if he's in the frame?
What do you want me to do?
If he's
Just
in
to
the
see if he's
picture
in the frame of the iPad. My iPad here.
Here.
That's for this.
No, he's not.
Okay.
Oh, no, no,
Little
no,
closer.
no.
Oh, I
Little
didn't
bit.
understand.
Now we're
Yeah.
probably both in.
Yeah, see, now he is.
Now you're in the
Okay, now he's in.
Yes.
I don't want to lose
Okay.
a handsome man.
That's all right.
Yeah, we have the Beauty and the Beast here.
Oh,
You're the beauty. Okay, so how can you use your voice-assisted devices? This gets a little more specifically. Well, you can search for information. So I can say, I can ask any kind of information, like, where's the nearest library? We'll go through some specific questions later, but basically you can search for information. You can communicate on the phone. You can do video calling also. There is a program that Amazon has. Their assisted devices, when you can buy this, actually a screen instead of just a little dot like this or a focus. So you can actually do video and see things. So, but then another thing you can do for your voice-assisted devices is your smartphone. Is what we call your smart home devices, and you may or may not have any of these right now. But this is basically remotely controlling and managing different devices and systems, like lighting. Like in my home, I can tell her to turn on the light at the two lights in the living room, two different lights in the living room, and there's a different light in the kitchen, and then in our bedroom we have a light on each side of the bed, and I simply say, Alexa, turn on Pat's light. Alexa, stop.
Pat's light isn't responding.
Yeah.
Please check its network connection and power supply.
Alexa, stop. So we'll start calling her Mary. So I can ask Mary. So it's quiet at night, and you're reading, and she's finally finished. She can just simply say, "Turn off Pat's light," and off it goes. But you can use it for security. Gabriella has her home security set up with it, so she can has a video on her home security setup system. One of the other users that was here earlier today was I guess it was Sue, was telling us about a program that you can set on there through that allows her to hear when things are going wrong in the house, like a glass breaking or something like that, and will alert you to damage in the home. But you have smart devices that for just about everything you can think of anymore. Now it's getting smart devices in your refrigerator, which can tell you what's gone bad. But she's not cured of that yet. But anyway, there's all these different devices that you can activate from here that are helpful. For productivity, you can use it for your calendar, use it for ordering, you can set a timer. Almost all of the things you do, you can one way or another organize through your Alexa or through your home. See, but this is the problem. You have to call her Mary. Otherwise, she goes off. So we'll call her Mary from now on. So, okay, shopping. You can actually do your shopping like really. Actually, she was sharing that with a 50-hour work week at the library and a 3-hour commute. Hard to catch, aren't they? With a 50-hour work week and a commute, for her, she can order her groceries and have them delivered all from here. So when she gets home, everything's there. So shopping is very easy. And of course on the Amazon, it's even easier because Amazon, of course, is the one who sponsors the Echo and this whole device. So they are really geared to helping you to shop.
Right. And since all of the Amazon devices are connected to Amazon services, it's really easy to just order things from their store. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the drawbacks and one of the advantages. News and information. What's the latest news? Getting on NPR, and then any kind of information that you want to ask, and we'll experiment with this together later. Then there are all different things called skills that are in the Amazon. I don't know what they call them in Google. Do you know what they call skills in Google?
I don't.
Yeah. But these are ones like Ask My Buddy. This can be as a reminder for one of your friends to contact you. Like if you, maybe you've got the flu and your husband is gone on a trip and there's nobody to watch out for you. You can ask a buddy. You can set up a system so that this will contact a friend and get you connected, and they can contact you. You okay? You okay, Judy? Need any food? Anything going on? Different types of things like that, or games, or find your phone. That's a skill. Like, where's my phone? So I can say, it's easy for me to then just say, Mary, where's my phone? Where's Terry's phone? And then she'll say, oh, it's blah, 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 blah. Story time, sing along, happy birthday. You can ask it to sing happy birthday. There's all these different kinds of skills. So what are some of the cons? And jump in anytime.
Sure.
Some of the cons to having a voice-assisted device might be not everyone is technologically advanced, so it's a challenge. And what I shared with the group before was it's kind of like when you first get hearing aids. Many people, especially it seems like it happens more with men than women, is you try it, you don't like it, it sounds weird, you can't get it, it squeaks, and you do this, you can't get it calibrated, you don't do that, and I'm like, and they'll never do it again.
Right.
Does that sound like a man?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what you kind of have to do with any of these devices. Is the whole point of it is to facilitate and improve your life. If it doesn't improve your life, then you don't want to mess with it. But you want to give it a chance. Maybe that first date you went on with your husband or your wife didn't go as planned, but you asked for another date. And you kept experimenting with it and found that, oh, wow, there was some connection. So we do that with people often, but we forget that we can do that with these devices. Just don't get thrown by them.
I'd say that applies to any piece of technology, really, because sometimes things will click right away, but a lot of it is just the practice and failing. And like I like to tell a lot of people who come to the one-on-ones is that you're going to make mistakes at first and things are going to break, but that's just the process of learning how to adapt to a new technology.
Yeah, good point. When the web first went commercial, I was working with a group called CosideNet, which still exists today, but we were doing training in the library, very first ones, dial-up. Yeah, so we did these dial-up things. It was a training class, and then we had everything from kids to older adults. And it was just to a person, it would happen exactly the same. If they were under 20, they get on there and try this. And once we got connected, they'd try this, they'd try that, and then people like us would go, "What happens if I touch that?" I say, well, I don't know. Touch it and see what happens. Yeah. What if I do that? And to get them to. Because it was like, I'll break it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll crash. Oh,
Right.
well, a crash. I mean, that's an airplane where everybody dies, right? So
Right.
his point is well taken. Any of the technology, keep at it and get help. And then if it doesn't work and it isn't what you want, can it? We're free. Okay, devices don't do everything, so it can't do everything for you, so you can't expect it to do more than it can actually do. You don't want to get frustrated when it can't. They work best when you have an account with the company, I think. Like Google, I think, probably interacts more with certain things if it's related to Google. Like when we found, we're going to take a little test here later, and we ask the two devices the same thing, and we get different answers. And one of it is because Google is geared towards going to Google Maps. Mm-hmm. And to Wikipedia and to YouTube and and Instagram and all the things they own. And Mary is more prone to go to all the things that have to do with Amazon to try to get you to buy it. And you just asked about about a recent movie. Did you know that you can buy a DVD of that movie? Blah blah blah. Would you like to buy? In fact, it doesn't even say "Do you know?" It says, "Would you like to buy?" So. They kind of work best for that, but they also have the limitations, the drawbacks to them. Life starts to get really convenient. So the question is, are we just getting lazy? Like, Terry, why can't you, when you finish reading your book, just reach up and turn the light off? Well, I can, but if I have the whole system, when I'm sitting at the television and this light bothers me with the light on, and that one doesn't. I like being able to do that, but I don't want to get too tied into it, because I'm just starting to get lazy. But I think the reality is we're all going to get lazier.
I like to call it efficiency.
Efficiency. I like that. Relabel it. Okay. So one of the cons also is people's fear of information gathering. That basically, this is gathering all kinds of data from you. My answer to that is all the data is already gotten. It's all part of it. You have to balance the pros and the cons. And we have chosen as a culture to go this direction. We cannot change that direction. We're going that direction. We really don't have a choice. What we have a choice on is finding all the ways that we can thwart the work of the major corporations trying to reach into our home, which is settings in all the different devices that you have. Like even YouTube, there's a setting in YouTube where you can set that will, so it won't show you promote other YouTubes when you're looking at one. We have to find our ways of protecting ourselves, but the reality is these are more advantageous to me than they are a risk of them learning more about me, because the minute I go onto Google or do anything, I'm being found. But in fact, now, I don't know what your experience is, but I find that I'll go look at a product at Amazon or somewhere. I'll look at a product, and within a day, it's showing on my Facebook as an ad from Judy. And as an ad from Judy, for crying out loud, who didn't do it.
Yeah.
It just piggybacked on her.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
It's insidious.
Yes, and the other answer for me is stay in touch with Congress. Keep pushing things. When you see that Facebook is being held to the fire, when you see that Google is being held feet to the fire, support your Congress people in making sure we get the protections and we get the squawks, because there are things that they could stop doing or do better, but they're not going to if we don't speak out, because those businesses exist like every other business out here. They're in business to sell. That's what it is. That's what our economy is. That's how the world works. So we need to protect ourselves, but we don't need to try to become Luddites, because even becoming a Luddite and having none of the devices, I can guarantee you they're still going to know everything about you. So that's kind of my answer to that part. The other one on the always on, people say, it's listening to everything I say. I don't want that, not talking about things that are very important to my life that I don't want the whole world knowing. Or how's it? Well, theoretically, they only turn on when you activate them. They are voice-activated devices. So they only turn on to listen when you activate them, and they only keep information for a certain period of time. Now, that's the theory. Now, in practice, if they decide tomorrow that they're going to listen 24 hours a day, they could set the algorithm up to do that. So that's why we have to keep being involved with Congress and making sure that they aren't allowed to do that kind of thing, and that there are checks and balances. So if I say her name and she's listening, I need her to, because otherwise it's no assist. But when I don't want her to hear it, I don't want her listening. So I hope that makes sense. Do you have any other cons that you think of?
No, I mean, kind of going off of that same thing, in theory, it is supposed to only listen for those keywords. But there have been, let's see, there was like a case that happened a few years back where a murder was solved because one of these things was always listening. There were some checks that were put into place afterwards, but yeah, it's a pretty famous case. You can look it up online on Google. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that, like, as long as we start like putting pressure on like when they can actually listen, yeah, it's kind of down to us.
Yeah. And I think we're in better shape in the United States than we are even in England. I don't know if you ever watch much British television and you watch very many mysteries. Are you ever surprised by the fact that they seem to have a video from every single corner of the whole darn country?
Oh, yeah.
CCTV. It's because they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. We have a lot here, but they're really, I mean, everything is videoed everywhere.
But the European Union is much tougher on Google and Facebook than the American
but they are.
Congress is.
But on the other hand, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. That Europe has done a much better job
Yeah.
of keeping controls on
Protecting
these.
our privacy.
Yeah. Okay. So the types of devices. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing great. So there are different types of devices. So Google Home and Minimax, these range from $20 to $300, depending on the whiz-bangs that it has. In terms of what it's best at, Gabriella says that it's a nice aesthetic. Search information is really good because it's geared directly to Google. We don't know exactly who Amazon connects to for the information they give. So in many cases, a request of Google will bring better information than a request on Amazon. Many homes have a nice, bigger, louder, better music sounding Amazon, and buy a small home like that and have both. So I can ask her or him or whichever these are information, if I'm really for information about the life of Grover Cleveland. Your calendar, and you can ask it. My calendar is geared to this, so I'll show you later how the calendar works, and it works quite well because it goes right into Google. And grocery list, music, Chrome class, phone calls, it's all good for all of these. So basically the same thing for Amazon. Amazon has a little bit more of a variety, maybe because it's more of a shopper-oriented thing. They have small devices, which, like this, is called a dot, which doesn't have a very good speaker, but it is Bluetooth oriented, so I've got it geared to my nice Bose over there so I can hear better. But this is the least expensive way to get into it, although if you listen to a lot of music, then you're going to have to buy a Bose at $150, $200, $300. So you may want to gear up to Echo and Echo Plus, and these models they stand a little taller like this, and they have a 360-degree sound. So you have sound playing, in all directions, and it's a really pretty good sound. You'll hear this guy, and it's equal to that. And that one, I think, is 150, something like that. But there also is a new device by Amazon which is has a screen. So it's more the size of Judy's iPad. I think that's an iPad, isn't So it has a screen, so it actually is more like an iPad. So you can actually see videos and see information as well as hear it. So that's what pops it up. It's not as good a search for information. It's okay, but it's not as good as Google. But you want it, so you want a trade-off. Now for me, I use I use Mary here because I do have Prime and I have music, and all my Prime music can play through her, and I can ask her to play through there. So I use a lot of Amazon. My what would you call it? I struggle with it because I see what's happening with Amazon's domination of all things, and yet the convenience is there so great. But so I more or less stay with the Amazon. There is a thing called Facebook Portal, and that, especially if people do a lot of Facebook, there's a voice-assisted device for all different types of your Facebook connections. But it does do other video calls and that sort of thing. Apple HomePod, I'm not really familiar with. I really wasn't either, so we're not saying much about that. You can research that if that's an area of interest.
I
Go
know
ahead.
a little bit about the HomePod.
Oh, great! Please.
The HomePod is like it's probably one of the more expensive offerings of this. It's more geared towards using Siri, so like on your phone, if you have an iPhone, it's the same idea as that, except it also controls like music and stuff like that. It has a fantastic speaker. It has bar none the best speaker out of all the home devices. It's really loud. You can actually pair two of them, so you can actually have it like in different parts of the house, and you can have it play music. It's more geared towards music, really. So if you're looking to do like home automation and stuff like that, I'd say these are still the better choices. Apple does have a home automation equivalent. It's called HomePod, but it's still pretty early on. And I would still say that probably between the three, if you're looking at home automation, I'd look at any of these two for now.
And you don't know what he means by the home automation, turning the lights on, here in your front, all those devices. Yeah. Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so now we've got plenty of time to demo. So if you wouldn't mind giving them one of those sheets, if you buy an Echo, you end up on an email list, and every week they send me ideas for what I can do with my Alexa. So that gives you some ideas. But I'll demonstrate a couple here. What time is it?
It's 12:41 p.m.
Alexa, what's the weather tomorrow?
Tomorrow in Moss Beach, you'll see intermittent clouds and can expect a high of 60 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 51 degrees.
Alexa, what's my schedule today?
There's nothing scheduled for the rest of the day.
Nice.
Yeah, and now when I did the last one, it said this one was scheduled. So, Alexa, what's my schedule for Monday?
On Monday, June 24th, there is one event. At 1 p.m. there's conversations.
Yeah, that's one of our village programs. Now I can also dial. So with this, I could actually dial and talk to somebody. So let's try this. Alexa, call Patricia McNutt.
Echo DOT to AC disconnected.
I think I kicked it over here. Alexa, stop. I forgot she's traveling. She went shopping. So.
If you like, I can remember your name, so you can call people from your own list of contacts, and they'll know it's you. Shall I go ahead and do that?
Yes.
Sure.
Connected to Echo DOT to AC and Terry Plank's iPad.
Just say yes. Is this Terry?
Yes.
Terry, it's great to put a name to your voice. To learn more, go to the homepage of your Alexa app.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, how would I do this? Let's see. Alexa, stop. Alexa, what's my contact list?
You have Find My Phone enabled. Do you want to open it?
What did she say?
Yeah, find my phone enabled.
Oh, yes.
You have Find My Phone enabled. Do you want to open it?
Yes.
I'm going to call the phone now, so listen out. If it doesn't ring, it's because I can't connect or it's on silent.
Oh, I had it on. Did you turn it off?
Airplane mode, yeah, I just turned it off.
Good, thank you. Took it off silent mode.
There it goes.
Alexa, stop. But a little complicated there, but basically, when you use it, I can call anybody, call you up, and I'll hear you off there. I'm speaking in here, I'll listen to you off there. And you can go through your contact list as well. So, but another real good one here is Alexa, play NPR 1.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Lakshmi Singh. President Trump briefs the
Alexa,
four Republican...
So I can get my news real quick. So later on in the day, I'll listen to it again. And we'll also remember where I started from. If it's got the same program, it'll come back over it again. Alexa, set timer for 1 minute.
1 minute, starting now.
Alexa, what's the longest day of the year?
Summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, the longest period of daylight in the year. It usually falls around June 21st.
Alexa, stop. So you can see what we're doing with that. Here was one it was on. Do you see one on there that you like that you want to ask?
I'm curious to know how complicated it is to be able to hook up all these devices so that you can ask these questions. How does that happen?
Well, first of all, they're going to have an instruction sheet with little bitty fonts that you can't read, right? Especially if it's an Apple one. No, you follow that.
Yeah.
Then, if you get all balled up with that, you go up to Google and you ask Google, how do I connect my device? And then it will walk you through how to
But
connect.
like, how complicated is it? I mean, I'm put off by the thought of having to do that.
Me too.
That's the thing that keeps me.
No, your egg's ready. That was the timer.
Oh, that was the timer.
Alexa, stop timer. Say it again.
I'm put off by the confusion and the difficulty of setting it up with all these different devices.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's very, very frustrating, and that's back to what earlier one. You just have to keep persistently working with it until you throw up your hands. And
I mean, is
despair.
it 5 minutes? Is it 2 hours?
Oh no, you can set this guy up within 10 minutes. But now to hook it to that, it'll take a few more minutes. But basically, if I had my iPad open, but I'm filming this. But in my iPad, there is a section you go to that is your Alexa device, and you can control and work with everything in there. So you can find all the ways to connect and the different things you're doing by going in on your iPhone.
And do you have to do it device by device by device?
No, if you, well, yes, if you do a smartphone, like back here, if you can you see back here this little plug?
Yeah.
That's a little smart plug that's geared to Gabriella's heater.
Okay.
Hey Google, turn on my heater.
You got it, turning on the heater.
Can you hear it? Alexa, turn off heater.
Did you mean window light? Sure, turning off the heater.
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what I wanted to read.
Okay.
Each one of the plugs you have to set. So for each of the lights in my house, I had to set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different settings, pushing them and making sure they pair. So you have to pair up all the devices. So each new thing like that you do add on, yeah, you have to spend the time to put
So
that
it sounds
device
like
on.
a big pain in the neck to me.
Yeah. Well, the question is, and if it is too much, then you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But if you think about if it takes me 2 hours, if it takes me 4 hours to set this all up, but it saves me 30 hours over the next year, is it worth it? If it isn't worth it, forget it. But if it's worth it, because the whole point is it's going to save you time in the long run. But it's just depending on how much, what you want to. You may be perfectly fine with just reaching up and turning the light off, which is fine. But for me, when I'm in the bedroom and I have forgotten to turn the light on in the living room, it's really handy to just say, Mary, turn off the living room light. And I've got a dot in my bedroom hooked to that, and then I have the taller, nicer sounding one in the living room, but they sync. So whatever, if I'm standing in the hallway between the two, if I say, Mary, they both go on, but they're coordinated. So there are advantages to that piece of it. So it's just a matter of whether or not it's helpful and what it is over the long run.
I can see it really being helpful as we age, and it probably makes sense to do it now, because the older we get, the harder it's going to get.
Well, that's another.
Figure out how to do it.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Get it now while your cognitive functioning is as good as it is.
Right.
Because your cognitive functioning will be a little less 5 years from now.
Yeah.
But a lot of it also depends too on your situation in life.
Yes.
We don't really need a lot of this stuff. Having a husband-wife relationship, we're basically healthy.
Yeah.
But if you have a disabled person in the home,
Yes.
or you live alone,
Yes.
this can be very comforting to people. There's even things Judy's aware of, and now that they have this all geared into working with a little robot. It's got a little face and little bright eyes and a little robot. And some of us say, well, that's ridiculous. But other people, you're home, for 24 hours out of every day, day after day after day, with very few people to speak to, something like that, even as mechanical. If you saw the movie I, Robot, where this old guy, I don't want that robot, you don't need a robot in my house, And then it turns out he's rescuing it from being deprogrammed, and he's chasing around the country, trying to protect his robot.
Yeah.
Because, it's an assist. So.
And it's helping people with dementia more and more. They're doing some great stuff with it. Yeah.
And that's a good point too.
Yeah.
So anything you want to experiment with these guys?
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I don't have an iPad or an iPhone. I have a PC and I have a Samsung phone. I do have an iMac tabletop, or whatever we call it. Can I do it?
I was trying to get this phone off, so I missed part of your question. Are you saying you have a computer and what else?
I have only an iMac. Everything else
iMac,
is
yeah.
non-i.
This is
I don't
independent.
I have a PC, I have a Samsung phone, no smartphone or iPad.
Yeah. This is totally independent of any of those. Well, not totally, because you might use it.
That's the Google one.
Yeah, well, either one of these. Any of the voice assisted standalone. So basically you can set this thing all up without it going to your calendar even. Although it can go to your calendar and computer. But basically it functions separate from it.
Okay.
And you can choose how much automation and how much of this assistant stuff you actually want it to do. So if you really just wanted it to be like, turn off the lights, turn on the lights, turn on the heater and stuff like that, then that's all it'll do for you. If you don't want it to sync up to your calendar or call to your phone, then you don't have to set it up that way. It can just be home assistant stuff if that's really all that's interesting to you.
That's a good point. And
Yeah,
maybe
you
one
people
way.
all have iPhones and iPads and everything,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't.
Oh,
There's
exactly.
a lot of difference, I found.
But one way to maybe get started in preparation for when it might be harder for me to figure it out is get one and just do the basics. Timer,
Get comfortable.
phone calls, information. Just get familiar with the technology. You don't have to do a whole entire shooting match getting over to this guy and this and that and everything. But just to get started and oriented so you aren't starting from scratch at a point when it's harder to figure it all out.
I'm going to excuse myself. I have a 1 o'clock. Pat, I'll
That's
send
great.
you the event
Oh,
calendar.
good. That would be
We have a
great.
program here Monday at 1 o'clock. Maybe you can come to it. I'll send you more
I have a
info.
dental
Thank you
appointment
for
that
coming.
day.
Another time. Thanks.
Thank you
Heather.
for coming, Judy.
Thanks, Terry. It was very important. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, or do you want to see the difference between Google and Alexa with any questions?
I'm having so much trouble.
If you have any
with
pod enabled,
all my other
any
tech
pod
stuff.
contains
I'm not
mature
sure I'm ready
content
to
and may not be
jump
suitable
into
for all
this.
ages. Do you want to open it?
Alexa, stop. You were saying?
I'm having so much trouble with my other tech stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
ready to hop into this, but one thing that would really help is my husband goes away and leaves the TV on, and so, we're in the car, would be, I don't know, would that be something you could do and
Yes.
say,
Yeah,
turn
so
off the
basically
TV?
this little plug back here,
Uh-huh.
that little plug back there, you're going to plug your TV into that. And you can turn the TV off there. Now, if you have a smart TV, I suspect there is some kind of a setting that you can do where you can actually turn the TV off without having the whole thing unplugged. So I'd have to research it.
Uh-huh.
But this is the other thing I was saying a little earlier, is you go up to Google and search and find out any information you want. So you go up and search and find out the answer to that. But I'm sure there's some way that this could actually turn it off if you have a smart TV.
I don't know if we do. It's a TV.
Well, let's conclude our presentation and thank everybody for being here.